And welcome back to another episode of JP and the Beans Talk.
Let's go. Here we are. It's the middle of September. The energy is thick in the gym. And we're here. Ready to rock. Ready to do some things.
Yes, we are.
Fantastic. It's fantastic. Your Cowboys are off to a good start on the sports ball front. Congratulations.
2-0, that defense. Micah Parsons is a scary man, by the way.
Yes.
The amount of times he was in the backfield tonight,
Yeah.
I think he had 2 sacks and at least 3 or 4 tackles for losses.
See, Micah Parsons is one of many guys who has flourished in the NFL that in college was good, but you can't help but look back and go, you didn't use that guy right if you're Penn State.
Yeah.
Because he's playing middle linebacker for him, and it's maybe you just put him over the right tackle, play after play, and say, go get him. And watch the havoc that he wreaks.
Well, he's just, I wouldn't even call him like a DN though either. Like he's
absolutely.
He's like a,
yeah.
He's literally
Why isn't that guy rushing the passer every time?
he's a Swiss Army knife.
Right.
The dude can play anywhere if you really need him to. He can cover too. So it's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like freak athlete.
George Kittle, right? Phenomenal tight end for Iowa. He was okay in Iowa, but I wouldn't say they featured him very well.
Something about Iowa tight ends, dude. They get her done.
Mhm.
Dallas Clark
They do.
started
Yep.
it off.
Yep.
And then you got, there's so many Iowa tight ends.
Dallas
Fant.
Clark was the first, even before him, or after him. There's Brandon Myers, who was a dude, CJ Fedorowicz, then you had George Kittle, then TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant. Now you've got Sam Laporta in the league.
We'll talk about that
work.
tight end room of Kittle, Fant, and Hawkinson. That tight end room is insane because that was 1 year.
Sick.
That is the equivalent of
Cheating.
Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts, and Tua all in the same quarterback room. That's crazy.
Isn't that wild? Yeah.
So Fant really hasn't been able to take off yet, though. Unfortunately.
No, he's still waiting for his breakout. But we broke out. We're huge, Riles.
True.
It's JP and the Beans. It's just a double dip.
It's true.
It's fantastic.
It's true. We're here.
Yep. My Orioles clinched playoff
Well, there you go.
positioning. They maintain their 2-game lead over the Tampa Bay Rays, and I firmly expect in 2 weeks' time to be sitting here recording a podcast with you in full celebratory mode of the Orioles taking the AL East crown for the first time in, it's been a while. It's been a little while. So looking forward to it. But
It's either that or you'll show up crying.
Or that. Yeah, I'll be despondent. There's your word of the day. Despondent. That's what I will be. But we're not despondent. We're stoked. In spite of the lack of films and TV to talk about, Riles, we're just cranking out original content.
True.
God bless it.
It's true.
Great.
We have to. We don't have a choice.
It's really true.
They forced our hand.
They have.
Now we have to show our creative side instead of just, they just
effort.
give stuff to us and then we'll talk about
Maybe
it.
someday we'll do that again.
Maybe someday.
We do have an Aquaman trailer that we'll talk about.
Right.
That's nice. But aside from that, we've got segment on segment, which is outstandingly exciting.
Segment on segment.
We have questions we're going to ask each other that neither of us are prepared for.
One question each, right?
Well, yeah, just the one.
Okay. Just want to clarify.
Cumulatively 2.
Well,
so I
yeah.
said questions as in...
When you said questions,
Scared
I
me a
thought
little
you
bit.
had at least
Scared me a
3,
little bit.
and then I was like, well,
Words.
I'll make something up. What is your favorite food?
Pizza. Every time I basically want to be Ninja Turtle.
I do too, bud.
Yeah, it's great. So we'll ask each other questions that are totally unprepared and unexpected. I'm going to talk about a obscure either hero or villain from the comics, which is great. I'm going to highlight an old comic book story that I think anybody listening should take the time to, get out there and read. Get your eyes off the TV once in a while. Read a book. Crack one open. See what happens.
You
Could
don't
get
have,
wild.
I didn't expect to be attacked today.
The attacking won't cease, so it's just coming at you.
We need to get you a Marvel one of these.
Yes.
Encyclopedias,
Yep.
by the way.
Yep.
I know that's off topic, but I
Agreed.
looked at the DC one, I'm like, you don't have a Marvel one, and I
I
feel
know.
like that's an insult.
It's an empty place on my bookshelf.
Yes.
It needs to change and improve.
And I also need to get 2 copies, one of each copy. Yes.
Christmas is, technically around the corner if you
So is my
walk
birthday.
into Sam's Club.
Yes.
So, yeah,
So,
sick. We'll do another top 5.
Yep.
Classic.
Yep, I am excited for that.
Oh my gosh.
I think I got some good ideas.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I'm really proud of one that if this writer's strike ends, I might just pitch. But I gotta wait till
Moving to LA,
it's
taking a
done.
shot.
Well, I don't know about that.
Okay.
California's on fire. I don't want to go there. And by that, I'm not talking about wildfires, because that's a very sensitive topic. I'm talking about just, it's general, all hell has broken loose in the state of California.
Tough place to be.
I wouldn't want to live there.
No. I maybe want to live in San Diego, though. I'd go to San Diego.
No.
No? The
Nope.
beach? The perfect weather?
I think
The
we should,
Padres being terrible?
to be honest, I think we should just start over on the West Coast.
Oh, okay.
California, Seattle, well, Seattle is its own thing, but I'm talking about the state of Washington,
Sure.
Oregon,
Sure.
California, and we just start over. Maybe Nevada starts the new West Coast.
Here's what bamboozles me, right? Let's just say you're a group of people. You're given the gift of California. I mean, objectively, a just rich, vibrant state. Like, you got your beaches, you got your mountains, you got your forests.
It's beautiful.
You've got everything in one state. You can't be happy there? Shame on you.
You can't even live there
Shame on you.
reasonably.
No, shame on you. Absolutely. Give it up. We'll go there. We'll make it better.
Okay.
Okay. Problem solved.
Okay.
That's great. Well, let's dive right in. I say we talk about Aquaman first, Riles. What do you say?
Makes sense.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So, Aquaman 2, a.k.a. Aquaman The Lost Kingdom, the first trailer, really, for the movie dropped on Thursday. And as Joey Tribbiani would say, the third day. A little Friends reference for those of you who know what I'm talking about. It's fantastic. So, on this third day, we were gifted with a full-length Aquaman Lost Kingdom trailer. You and I have both seen it separately. We have not yet really discussed it, so I'm curious. I just want to put you on the spot. What do you think? What was your big takeaway? The movie doesn't come out until December, so we're still 3 months out. So this is the right time for the marketing to start ramping up. But where are you at after trailer number 1?
I was surprised we got like the whole plot.
Oh boy.
We got like the whole plot.
It sure felt that way, didn't it?
Yep, it's like Aquaman's chilling. He's got a son now that's totally gonna die, but we can get into that in a different aspect, right? So,
Wow.
And then Black Manta's like, he's full blown, I'm gonna kill Aquaman.
Yep.
And then finds his own trident, which didn't know that was a thing. So then there's a good trident and a bad trident. And then those two tridents are going to clash. But of course Aquaman needs help, so he goes and gets his brother, his crazy brother, that tried to kill him in the first movie. And so him and his brother they're teaming up. Which I'm actually very excited for that dynamic. I think that'll be a lot of fun. And then those two are going to have to go take out Black Manta to save Atlantis. But we literally got the entire plot point.
We even got the historical flashback. Like, that's where you knew, like, are you not...
They don't care.
Like, wow, you're just showing... Yeah, you're telling us the whole, like, here's your spark notes of the movie. Come see it if you'd like.
Yeah.
Like, when you're getting the historical flashback, that's what just floored me. It's cool, but that's never something you see in a trailer. Like, hey, here's a little more context for the story that we're telling you. No. That was incredible.
Yeah,
incredible to me.
If I was...
I'm in total agreement with you. It's like, we got everything in there.
If I was doing the trailer, I would have had the trident be the focus and just be like, if he gets a hold of this, we're in trouble, and then that'd be it. And then have I wouldn't have shown Ocean Master being involved at all. That would have been a surprise for the movies.
Sure.
And then whatever. But I did hear a rumor that, you know how they were going to do like the Deep movie spin-off for that?
Right.
They said that was a secret Black Manta movie. And it irritates me because I'm like, why don't you just call it Black Manta?
Yeah.
I would have gone and seen that.
Yeah.
The Black Manta casting and design and everything about Black Manta is
fantastic.
Perfect.
It is.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Very rare where I say that about a character on screen.
Yeah. And he's like, in the comics, like, there's an element of goofiness, right? Like, it's such a weird looking character. But I don't mean that in a negative way. It works. It's really effective. But like, you have this sideways oval helmet, but it works.
It shoots lasers.
Yep.
Is it supposed to look like a stingray? Is that why it's like that?
Sure. So you got the stingray element, but it's also supposed to. it's blended with like an old school deep sea
Right.
diver outfit, right? Which I think it blends really well. So again, like you said,
I love
change
it.
the thing about the design. Yeah, I'm in total alignment. They showed way more than they needed to. Totally unnecessary, except for Amber Heard. They gave her one shot of her punching a window, which, unless you're looking for it, you wouldn't even see it. Which, like, come on. Like, she's going to be in the movie. So why?
How funny would it have been if her one clip was like her pooing on the bed?
Oh, gosh.
They're like, you know what? You did this in real life. Why don't you do this for the movie too?
Yeah, just weird. Just strange. Like, I don't. If anything, I'm just ready to move on from all the drama. Like, I could give a rip about it, but Ezra
No one
Miller,
cares
Amber Heard,
anymore
come on,
either way.
let's get over it. The visuals look fantastic. They just do. It looks like it's going to be another incredible looking movie. I think there's going to be a story to tell because I love that Black Manta's the main villain. I love the idea of the buddy cop dynamic with,
Oh, for sure.
with our boy Arthur, and then our good buddy Orm, or now his good buddy Orm. That's fantastic. So I think this movie is going to have a pretty safe floor, right? Where you're going to go to it and you're going to come out of it, and at bare minimum you're going, all right, not bad. Will it be more than that? I hope so, but I really don't know. I am looking forward to it because the first movie was genuinely delightful. I think what makes me the most unsettled about this movie in terms of my anticipation is that it has totally been caught, I'm sure, in the meat grinder of, hey, the Snyderverse is ending, James Gunn is taking over, and so they're trying to transition to this new universe. And so the timing is just, it's awkward at best. And I'm worried that's going to harm the production value of the movie. So,
Do they kill the child? I'm going to tell you right now, if that kid dies, that is ballsy to do.
at best.
It is ballsy.
Yeah. I don't like that I'm hesitating. So I wanted to say, no, there's no chance.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. But if the kid dies,
It's amazing that it happened in the comics, where Black
It's
Manta kidnaps the baby, and the baby dies.
it's insane.
And not like in an accidental, oops, didn't mean to kill the baby. Like Black Manta put the baby in complete mortal peril and basically just turned on the shot clock and said, "All right, see if you make it, Aquaman." And Aquaman didn't make it, and the baby's dead. Like that's grim, real grim.
Aquaman goes through some shit.
He does. He really does. There was a Alex Ross. I can't remember the other guy that collaborated with Alex Ross, but they did a DC kind of one-off comic called Justice, where Black Manta kidnaps the baby. Baby does not die. So I feel like it was an effort made to, hey, we can still have the baby be an element here, but we can't. We're not going to kill the baby.
Remember when we killed that kid?
Right, we're not gonna do that. It was much more in line. It's like, sure, Black Manta's the bad guy. He busts into Atlantis, takes out Aquaman, kidnaps his kid, but it's more from a ransom perspective, not a hey, I hate you and I'm gonna kill all your family.
Dude, if that kid dies in the movie theater,
I'll be upset. I'll be very upset.
I'm going to laugh, but know that it's not because I think it's funny that a child died on screen.
Right.
It will be about how
Right.
uncomfortable of
It
the
is.
situation that they put us in to watch that happen.
We don't want to be in that
No
spot.
way.
I can't handle kids dying in anything, like in movies or TV shows. Can't handle it. I think I've shared on this podcast
Oh,
before.
yeah.
My wife has had me watch Grey's Anatomy. And the amount of kids that die in that show, it's like, why does anybody watch
And
this?
women love it.
I know. What does that tell you? It's scary. I don't know. So I agree. To sum up, they showed way more than they needed to. But I still gonna go see it. Didn't really ruin it for me.
Oh no, I'll
It
go.
was just okay.
I trust the director. I like James Wan.
Yeah, Mr. Wan's good at what he does. So, December, we got a few months between now and then. A lot of football, a little bit of baseball.
And Loki.
And Loki.
in between.
That's right. And Loki coming in hot. Yep. through that. All right, anything else you want to say on the Aquaman
That's
front?
it on my
Okay, fantastic. So we're going to start rolling out some fresh new segments for you on the pods. One of which that I will take the lead on is going to be the obscure hero or villain of the week. So this is where JP picks a villain or hero that you may or most likely may not have heard of before. That I think, hey, it's just fun to highlight some of these freaks because there are some wild characters out there. So the character that I'm choosing to bring attention to this week, and I'm sorry in advance, is Heretic. Now, you hear the name and you go, that's not that bad. Like, the name's okay. Let me tell you a little bit about Heretic. All right, are you familiar with Damian Wayne?
Mm-hmm.
Rightly. Fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, Damian Wayne. Great
The
character.
son of Batman?
Son of Batman and Talia al Ghul. Yep. Well, Talia, you may ask yourself, why would Bruce not end up with Talia? She seems nice. She treats Bruce pretty well. Both of these things are really stretching the truth. Well, she's crazy. Okay, so Talia raised Damian for his formative years, hence Damian's tendency towards the violent side of things. But before Damian fully transitioned over into Bruce's home and care, Talia made sure that she took some DNA samples from our boy Damian and then cloned the guy. Now that in of itself, all right, sure, comics, yep.
Hey,
Part
I've
of the
said
course.
this on my other podcast, and I'll say it again here.
Mhm.
Clones are always a bad guy thing.
Always
Not
bad
a
guy thing.
single good guy clones people.
No.
It
No.
doesn't have, unless their superpower is duplicating themselves, but that's a whole different thing.
Yep.
Clones are always, this person is not good person.
Right. Now, just cloning someone straight up, not unprecedented, right? Not something that you'd go, okay, haven't heard of that before, and particularly in comics. I mean, Ben Reilly in the Spider-Man world, so we know cloning happens. We're going to go to the tape
Star
here.
Wars as of late as well.
Oh,
Star
boy.
Wars does so many cloning anything anymore.
Yep, they really do. So I'm breaking out the old DC encyclopedia so I can go straight from the book. All right, here is the description of Heretic, a little bit more of his history from the DC encyclopedia. Talia al Ghul's vision of a ruling family composed of her, Batman, it's like so far so good, and the child they would bear together, okay, getting a little weird, broke down when Batman refused her advances and their son Damian would not go along with her subsequent plan to undermine the Dark Knight. Okay. In anger, and this is where it gets bad, Talia disowned Damian, tough when families kind of break down, right? It's not great, and created a clone of him, gestated in the body of a whale, and given metahuman powers through experimental surgeries. Okay, so again, cloned Damian, but rather than just like growing the clone in a pod, pretty common, again, cloning method, she puts the pod in a whale because in comics, that means the clone grows to freakish superhuman size. Wow.
Yeah, she said, I read Jonah in the Bible, and we're going for that.
Wow. Yep. So, incredible. Now, known as the Heretic, the clone became Talia al Ghul's chief bodyguard when she appeared as leader of Leviathan. And by chief bodyguard, in this here comic, okay, Batman Incorporated, remarkable storyline overall. This particular portion, titled Gotham's Most Wanted, the Heretic just freaking like walks up to people, okay, grabs them by the neck and squeezes, and that's it. They're just toast.
It's like the Mountain from
It's
Game of Thrones.
Terrifying. So Heretic hunted down several members of the Batman Incorporated. So this is where Batman gathered a bunch of individuals that had abilities that he trained up to be Batman in other countries, okay? But he hunted them down, did Heretic, before killing the original Damian Wayne during a savage fight at Wayne Tower. The dude's messed up. Heretic. Yikes.
You know, that's not the only time
Yikes.
Damian's been cloned either.
Yeah, tough history for that kid.
Like, that one, and then they just did a recent one where it was like Raish, like took like his DNA, but then mixed it with Deathstroke instead of Batman, and then he like experimented on that kid.
Right.
To like
not
crazy
great.
Extents.
No, not great.
So, and then of course that kid is just, I hate Damian Wayne because he got all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And like we just talked about how grim it was for comics once upon a time to have killed a baby on purpose. Like that's dark. It is like it's ineffective, but also like one of my least favorite scenes in comics when the Heretic kills Damian Wayne. It's messed up. Like Damian Wayne is a kid, right? Maybe 12 is all. Not great stuff. But the Heretic, there's your obscure comic, in this case villain of the week. So cloned in a whale. That's just strange.
Yeah, because comics.
There you go. So, there you go.
Nice.
Let me pass it off to you, Riles.
Oh
what do you got, my friend?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was ready. I'm ready.
I know you are.
So, this segment, we are comparing Marvel characters and DC characters. So, they're twins or they're counterparts or whatever. So, I thought...
I don't know what you're talking about. That never happens.
Yes. So, I thought this would be fun because it took me down a rabbit hole that I didn't expect. Okay, so first of all, we have Deathstroke, aka Slade Wilson, aka the Terminator, who is in DC Comics an assassin, mercenary for hire.
Pretty good what he does.
Overall, not good dude. Also has a killer eye patch. So, Marvel, his counterpart is Deadpool, aka Wade Wilson. Notice how the first names are different, but the last names are the same.
Wilson meet Wilson.
Yes. So. Wade Wilson, and then obviously they differ in personality.
Right.
And powers.
Slade's a little bit more on the grim side.
Right.
Yep.
And power. Like Slade's hard to kill, but not as hard to kill as Deadpool.
Correct.
So then you have that. Well, DC didn't like that, and so eventually they decided that they would make 2 Deadpool ripoffs, and so one is very fitting. Okay, and this is the one that I knew about originally. No, it is Red Tool.
Gosh.
And his name is Wayne Wilkins.
Oh.
Which, what's that sound like? And so, he is a vigilante obsessed with Harley Quinn, stalks Harley Quinn, and his powers, he has a left arm that is a bionic prosthetic.
Wow.
And he also has superhuman durability because a part of his brain was removed that feels any pain. And so... Weapons, he's very skilled with weapons, but he chooses to use hammers and screwdrivers.
Oh, so he's kind of like Denzel in The Equalizer. Okay, I'm starting to like Wayne Wilkins.
And then the other one is Death Mask.
Oh boy.
Which is more direct, which showed up in...
a little less subtle.
Yes, which showed up in Deathstroke. Funny enough. And so, yeah, and he was just locked in Arkham Asylum for 87 years, but never aged. So...
That's kind of that's
so
interesting.
Superhuman durability, uses firearms, sportsmanship. Of course, has a mental disorder. So
a little crazy.
So there's 2 Deadpool ripoffs. So I just thought that was funny.
That's fantastic. Isn't that the trick is at some point you do run out of some ideas, right? And so some overlap is inevitable. But for it to be that on the nose, and even that intentional, that petty, where it's like, we're going to make a Wayne Wilkins Red Tool.
Red Tool, Deadpool, like they literally rhymes.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's hilarious, but at the same time, it's like, just be cool with doing it to each other. At this point, like, embrace it, and like, give yourselves the creative freedom to maybe not make the same character, but make your own changes. And that's your universe's character. Yeah. Because that's what they've done for so long anyways.
That's amazing.
So that was my thing.
That's fantastic.
Today.
Well done. Well, before we get into the questions that we have for each other, okay, I'm going to highlight the historical, let's call it, comic book story of the pod. And I've got Iron Man and the 5 nightmares. So I hold in my hands Iron Man by Matt Fraction and Salvador Roca. The artwork is phenomenal. Now, Matt and Salvador collaborate on a fantastic Iron Man run. Like, it's freaking glorious. Feel free to page through. The opener to their run is what they call the Five Nightmares story, in which Tony Stark is beset by not Obadiah Stane, but his son, young Stane, which that's exactly what he should be called, is young Stane. He goes by Ezekiel Stane, but I feel like young Stane would be so much more demeaning. But Ezekiel Stane, Zeke, not a fan of how Tony took down Obadiah, but he's freaking smart, and doesn't just go after Tony in particular as an individual, but goes after Stark Industries as a whole and seeks to uproot it and tear it down. It's a phenomenal story, great drama, some good action for Pepper Potts in there as well. Tony Stark at this point in time is starting to take on the mantle. This is in that Civil War era of Marvel Comics, so Tony is embracing his role as not only the head of Stark Industries, but also as the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so it takes some doing to take Tony down at this point, but Ezekiel Stane is fit to do it. So, fantastic story. Highly recommend. Iron Man, The Five Nightmares. Check him out. There it is. Yeah. Let's get into some questions, Riley. So, you and I each prepared a question for the other. We didn't tell each other what the question was going to be ahead of time, so there's been no preparation opportunity.
I hope we didn't duplicate our questions from last time.
No, not possible.
You don't think it's possible?
No. If it is, we edit it out.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, great.
I go first?
You go first.
Okay.
Hit me.
Okay, so, I think I've kind of talked to you about this on another note. But
okay.
if you could take one villain and have them go up against one hero from different universes, what would you want to see? So, while you think on that, I have 3 that I wrote down. Okay, just for example. Okay?
Love it.
I like the idea of a crazy comic of Deadpool versus Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Wow.
Because I think that comic would be insane.
Yeah.
Because it would be who drives who insane first. And I like that idea.
Who goes crazy first?
Right.
Love it. Okay.
Like that
Big
idea.
fan.
Okay. Number 2 that I have,
Yep.
I like the idea of Lex Luthor versus the Fantastic Four. Specifically Reed Richards.
Yes.
I think him and
Great
Reed.
intellectual matchup
Oh
there.
my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And my final one, and it's mainly because I want to see an interaction between 2 people. And I have the Avengers versus the Suicide Squad because I want to see the interaction between Captain America and Amanda Waller.
Oh my. Yeah. Yeah. What a dynamic there.
So-
Love the question. Love the examples that you gave. Okay, 2 different universes, 2 characters that I would love to see clash. Yeah, man. I want to pick one of the X-Men. I've been kind of on a Magneto kick recently, so I'd love to see Magneto. Man, who I want him to go up against, though, is the question.
I was thinking about when I was thinking X-Men, I was thinking Wolverine.
Yeah. I almost said Wolverine and Batman. That felt lazy. Still good. It'd still be a treat. But no, I'm gonna say Magneto. I want it to be a challenge for whoever he's up against, though. Magneto and Hal Jordan. Okay.
Okay.
A couple of ginormous egos. All right. They both think very highly of themselves. Magneto, thinks really highly of his cause. Hal thinks highly of Hal. But Magneto, I think, would be a tough matchup for Hal, because Hal's very arrogant, and Magneto is both arrogant and yet clever. And so the question is, can Hal get the upper hand before Magneto just completely knocks him out? Because I think Hal's going to underestimate Magneto and be like, I can create anything, all you can do is metal. But what if Magneto were just to slide that little ring off of Hal's finger? Assuming it's a metal ring. Interesting. Yeah, right? Whoops. Tough break.
That was quick.
Yeah, that could be over really fast. So Magneto and Hal Jordan. I'm going to keep pondering that question, but that's my answer for now. Sweet. What a great question. Okay, my question for you. All right, so this is a little spin off of the question I really don't care for, which is marry, murder, and the other thing. Okay. Somehow that's where my mind went. So here's the twist. All right. Who do you, Riley? I'm gonna give you the choices. Who do you battle against?
Okay.
All right. So who do you got to go up against? Who do you partner with? All right. So who's on your side here? Okay. In this fight, and who's the wild card? In other words, they might be on your side or they might turn against you at a moment's notice. Okay.
I have to pick 3, or you have.
I'm going to tell you the 3, and then you get to categorize them accordingly. So who do you battle against? Who do you partner with? And who's the wild card? Okay. I went Team Titans with this.
Okay. Fine.
Beast Boy, Wally West, and I threw in a little Damian Wayne. Beast Boy, Wally West, Damian Wayne. Who are you fighting against? Who are you fighting with? Who's your partner? Who's the wild card in the mix?
I am partnering with Wally West.
Okay.
I think that's a no-brainer. Just because of his speed.
Right.
Like Wally's the fastest man on earth.
Mm-hmm. Helps.
So,
been known to help.
I'll take Wally.
Yep.
And I know he's a genuinely good dude. I don't think he's gonna.
He's trustworthy.
Yes, unless his family gets involved.
Which it's not in this case. Right. In
this
case he's fine.
I'm not worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My wild card will be Beast Boy
Mm-hmm.
because you never know what animal he's going to turn into, and maybe he just goes completely psychopathic.
It could happen.
Yes.
It really
He
could.
picks a T-Rex, and for some reason, the full switch doesn't go through, and he just goes off of T-Rex instincts. Then I'm screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to fight against Damian Wayne because he's a child. So between Wally and I mean, he'll probably kick my ass, but Wally will have it no problem.
Feel good about Wally.
Yeah, so Wally and I get Beast Boy, I'll take that.
You think so? But again, to your point, Beast Boy could go rogue.
And then I'll deal with that.
Damien could lie to him and be like, "Hey, these guys are against you. They don't like your greenness. Be on my side."
They're racist.
They're racist against the greens.
It might work.
It
That's
could.
what's scary.
It could. Nice.
But that's what I'm going to say.
Love it. Great answer on your part. Well done.
What about you?
Well done. Me. See, I actually want Damien on my side because he's really freaking clever. And if he's on your side, here's the big assumption I'm making, right? I'm assuming that he's loyal to me because when he's loyal to you, he is loyal and then some. Like he lays his life down for you, kind of loyal. Wally, you mentioned the concern of what if his family's involved. I just don't trust his follow through enough to have him be the partner. So I believe that between Damien and I, we can come up with a plan to take down Wally. Beast Boy, like you, also the wild card. Hope he's on our side. It'd be nice to have him, but maybe he just needs to be a distraction. Who knows? That's okay though if that happens. Yeah, hard to count on Beast Boy. Hard to count on him. Tough.
Fair enough.
Nice hand, but good kid, just as tough.
Like you said,
Not reliable.
You don't want him to just, you and him are fighting alongside each other,
Yeah.
and you get a hippopotamus butt in your face. I don't know why.
Dude, come through. Come through.
Right.
Yeah, all good things. All right, fantastic stuff. Riles, it's time for a absolute classic banger. You better believe it. JP and the Beans top 5. Are you ready?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
I say we really flesh out these ideas.
Totally agree. So the concept for this top 5 are what would we like to see if we could have our druthers. And this can be DC, this can be Marvel, but since we are in this era of saturation with the movies to the point where we're getting TV shows, what characters would we love to see in a TV show format? Because I don't think either of us, for example, are going, hey, the TV shows need to be done on the Marvel side because we don't like the idea of a TV show. It's just they haven't been good. They haven't been given the attention and time needed to really flourish. So they could flourish. We think the potential is there. So if that attention to detail was given, if that time and energy was permitted and these shows could slow cook, not be rushed, but actually come to full fruition, there could be some absolute bangers. So without further ado, let's get into it. Riles, what's your number 5?
At number 5, because I feel like it would be fun for like a mystical adventure of sorts, and we're taking it back to like ancient times in a sense. I'm going with Etrigan the Demon.
Wow.
And then having Jason Blood and Etrigan have to solve some mystery. Or, have Merlin involved, because Merlin is a good guy in DC, right? Or is a bad guy?
I think he's a wild card of sorts. Yeah, but Etrigan gets his origin in Arthurian legend.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Yeah. Right.
So I was
Merlin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would like that, ancient-esque castles,
Right.
and then
It's great.
keep it there, and then watch him transition into modern day. So.
Oh, I love that. That's a good pull. Yeah, good pull. Old Etrigan the Demon. That's great. I had gone back and forth on my number 5 pick. I have 4 that I feel really, really strongly about, and my 5th, I'm struggling between 2 choices. So, game time decision here. What I would like to see most would be a new Genesis TV show. All right, so this is your Darkseid, your Highfather, your Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, Granny Goodness, all of the good and the evil in the giant space universes, thousands of universes away. I would love to see that large, just huge scale, but in a TV show setting where, regardless of what's happening back on Earth, you've got all the drama, all the conflict fostering, and there are some phenomenal characters in that world that I would just love to spend time with. So I think it could be a really self-contained show, but I think I'm especially coming, relatively speaking, fresh off of the Lord of the Rings show, which I thought was really well done. That, in my mind, is what you could get out of a new Genesis TV show.
Okay.
So I think it'd be freaking sweet.
What was your honorable mention?
Honorable mention is going to be a show about Lex Luthor.
Huh?
That's my honorable mention. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get into that more. But, alright. My number 4 is a show about the Shazam family.
Okay.
So I've really enjoyed the first 2 Shazam, and let's be honest, the only Shazam movies we will ever get. But particularly the unexpected twist where near the end of the first Shazam movie, where they gave Shazam a freaking family, right? Not only do you have Mary Marvel and Freddy, but you have the others. I think there's 3 others altogether. Yeah.
I think it's total 7, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it a total 7?
Total
You're right. Total of 7.
Because of each letter.
No.
Is it
It's 6. It was 6. Yeah. It's 6 altogether.
Is it?
Shazam. 6.
I can't spell.
Freaking Zam. No one's holding it against you. I love that dynamic, and I would love to see more of their adventures, more of their dynamic together. And I think in a TV show, it would be really enjoyable because you also have that opportunity to blend. Hey, their time is their metahuman selves, and their time as the average human that we can all relate to. So I would really be delighted by that. I'd love to see more of all of those characters, and to explore more than just our guy Billy. Billy's great, but I'd like to see more than just Billy.
Well, and even then, too, you could take one episode and focus on one of them if you really wanted to.
Yep.
So, makes
Absolutely.
sense.
And there's a lot of mysticism as far as their typical opposition. So I think there'd be a cool show in there. There you go, Shazam family. My number 4.
My number 4 is Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
There you go.
And
Yes.
digging into the rich backstory of that they have. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I want to see that in movie format. It would be kind of cool if each episode was a different life for them. So 45 minutes is just, hey, this is the first iteration of them, and then it's a rebirth, a rebirth, a rebirth, until finally we have the couple that is current.
Right.
So.
I love that.
Man, I just
did that
off the top of my head.
Well done.
That was awesome.
High five, self.
But yeah, so I thought, and I loved Hawkman in Black Adam.
Right.
I thought he was awesome.
Yeah.
So I would love to get more Hawkman for sure. So,
No,
and I
that's
grew
great.
up with Hawkgirl too. So
That's
it's
great. Yep, she was in the Justice League cartoon. She was a phenomenal part of the Justice League cartoon.
Core part of it, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, she was fantastic. I love that. Great number 4. Great number 4. All right, who do you got number 3?
Number 3, we're really vibing with the whole Arthurian times.
True.
Okay?
True.
Now, my boy, Kit Harington, shows up in the Eternals.
Mhm.
That dude needs a show. The Black Knight needs a show. Kit's done it before. He knows how the TV show works.
He's good at what he does.
The Black Knight is a super interesting character because the sword corrupts the user at some
Love
point
that.
or another.
Love that.
The more people he's killed, the more bloodlust he gets,
Mhm.
and like also him having to deal with the Black Knight mantle because not every Black Knight was a good guy. Some of the Black Knights were not so good guys,
Mhm.
and he's probably, I don't know, the 5th user, the 6th, I don't know. Like it goes all the way back.
He's ways down the line.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and also to have that be involved, you can introduce like Captain Britain in this,
Sure.
and then their version of Merlin. Like this, it would be really cool.
Because the sword embodies some portion of the previous user, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, so it kind of has their personalities within it that can infect the current user,
Yeah.
right?
Something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
the only thing I know is it just slowly like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it just makes him berserker mode eventually. So
Yeah, I'd be curious who he would end up like going up against, right? Like who are the Black Knight's adversaries?
yeah, that's the other question because you're like, but I mean you can have that be some Agatha. some
Episode 1. Within the first 2 minutes,
kills Agatha.
Agatha beheaded.
But I mean, you
World
can,
saved. People rejoice.
you could have some mystical anomaly happening across the. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea how that would look, but
Sure.
I think it'd be a lot of fun just to explore that and having him learn the history of it and have to deal with that history and try to be his own better version.
Right.
So
Right. A lot of self-conflict.
Yeah.
Love it. That's great. My number 3, Dr. Stephen Strange. Doctor Strange, somehow Riley has had only 2 movies in the span of this Marvel realm. I think he's a delightful character. Love our boy Benny. Mr. Cumberbatch portraying him. It's fantastic. Why not give him, let's stop, pigeonholing him into a show. Why not give the guy an opportunity just to riff across a miniseries? I would be delighted by that. Think of all the different places he could visit, the characters he could interact with, the magic we could see. I mean, the guy has limitless potential in terms of just the power, the imagination. So I would love to get a chance to have a lot more just volume of screen time with Stephen Strange. I think it would be fantastic. You could oscillate between relatively like low stakes in New York City to high stakes. Now he's traversing the multiverse as we've seen in the movies. I think there's a lot of room to work with. And you get more of Stephen Strange. How can you not be delighted by that? Because you know what else that means? That means you get more Wong. And who doesn't want more Wong in their life? If you don't, you're Wong. Haha. It's terrible. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. I want Wong. There you go. There's my number 3.
he is the linchpin currently.
He is. He's all that's holding this together. My number 2. I told you I was on a Magneto kick. Give me Magneto in a TV show. Okay? So here's part of what I think is so great about TV shows. Breaking Bad, greatest TV show I've ever seen. It's very much an anti-hero show. Like the protagonist, Walter White, starts out as a likable, lovable dude, and over the course of 5.5-ish seasons transforms into the bad guy, right? And it's compelling television. Why not show us Magneto working behind the scenes to gather his forces, trying to be buds and yet conflicting with Charles Xavier, working the underground, if you will, to take over various government entities for his mutant takeover of the world. And he's such a conflicted character, particularly as he was portrayed by Michael Fassbender. So give me all that all day long. I would love to see a Magneto-driven TV show. That's where I'm at. Number 2. Magneto.
Number 2, we're staying in the mutant realm.
Ooh, get it.
Okay?
Get it.
But it kind of plays into this.
Yes.
So it's more. I loved X-Men First Class. Phenomenal.
Totally agree.
Great
Totally
movie.
Great movie.
Magneto, for instance, phenomenal in that movie. He's
Best part of the movie.
Michael Fassbender as Magneto.
Best part of the movie.
Best part of every single X-Men movie in that sense.
Yep.
But anyways,
Agreed.
so, but then also mixing it with a little bit of X-Men Origins Wolverine. So, instead of the next X-Men movie coming out, and they introduce all these characters, I think it'd be cool to have a series beforehand, and each episode focuses on Professor X recruiting a different mutant in each episode.
I like that, yeah.
And so they can either do 5 or 6 episodes, or 10 episodes, and then they can turn that into seasons.
Love it.
And then that way you're just slowly adding X-Men, and then each X-Men goes into their own highlight. And then, think about it this way too, that's not a must-watch.
Right.
It's a, oh, I really like that character. Do you have something else with that character in it? Oh, you have this show. Let's go see this. Because I don't want to see 19 different origins for characters. Correct. And I think it'd be a lot cooler because it would show Professor X building the team.
Yes.
And just going from there.
Yeah.
So that is my number 2.
I love that. And there's so much, and we've talked about this, everybody knows this is obvious, there's so much potential with the X-Men.
Oh, for sure.
And the fact that that remains completely untapped by Marvel stuns me, blows me away. Like, get in on that action. Do it well. We're hungry for it. Anyway.
It would also be hilarious if they're like, okay, let's do 2 evil mutants, and then watch Xavier just reject them entirely.
That would be awesome. So, no, you can't come to the school. We'd really like to. Really, really firmly hard pass. That's great. Okay, what's your number 1? What are you pitching? What are you going to LA for?
My number 1 pick, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this might surprise you, because number 2 probably should have been number 1.
I'm excited.
Number 2 is, like, phenomenal.
This is great.
Okay?
I'm looking forward to being surprised.
It kind of plays off of a movie we already watched recently.
Oh, boy.
And I'm thinking, we get Booster Gold and Ted Kord Blue Beetle.
Sure.
And I'd rather have it be a TV show, because I want more time with the 2.
Yes.
Build and flesh out their characters.
Time is what you get with these shows.
Right.
So what an asset that is.
Right. Flesh them out more for when you bring them into a movie. I think that's way better. I think their dynamic is the most fun thing you can do with it.
Right.
Because it's like a good cop, bad cop kind of thing, but it's more like a arrogant, humble cop. So I think it would be just really hilarious to see, Ted Kord getting along with everybody, and Booster Gold watching from the side being like, why does no one talk to me or like me? And then having them have to deal with that, I think would be hilarious. So I would love that dynamic, seeing them work together with wherever they're at, stuck in time, or who knows where they're at. But yeah.
No, it's great. Good character dynamic. And what I like so much about this dialogue and this discussion is, and I'll get into my number 1, but you need, one of the shortfalls of so many of these shows has been the fact that you're asking relatively minor characters to just boost up a show for so many episodes. Like, you can have a more obscure character be the headliner as far as the title of the show, but you have to incorporate other characters, and frankly, a good chunk of other characters to make this show, make these shows worthwhile. There's just not a lot of characters that can ride solo and battle various villains for hour upon hour. There's a lot of these characters that need 1, 2, or 5 or 6 other characters to make them matter, to make them more interesting. So, it's great. Yeah. My number 1 is a show that I would love to see that is centered around Dick Grayson.
I'm glad you finished that.
Yep. Pause for effect. Dick Grayson. Phenomenal character. The history of that character is outrageous. The original Robin chose to walk away from his partnership with Batman, but maintained somehow a healthy like working relationship and friendship, but has established himself as his own hero, has been a part of the Justice League, the Teen Titans, obviously buds with Batman, has gone undercover to try, and after he was presumed dead, so I think there's a lot that could be done there. But I think Dick Grayson has the kind of just personal dynamic that you would want to see. I'd love to just hang out with this guy. That's the kind of character that I would love to watch a TV show about. His fighting skills are phenomenal, but his cleverness, his boldness, it's outstanding. He can fit into just about any scenario, any story that you put him in. I would love to see a show centered around my boy, Dick Grayson. That's my number one. There's my pick. Yeah. Will we see any of these shows? Only if the good people are finally getting off the picket line, getting what they need, and listening to this here podcast. Yeah. That's a wish.
I like the Nightwing choice. I mean, you could do that with all of Batman's Robins.
Mm-hmm.
So, I obviously he's the best.
He is.
He's easily the best.
And he's like where Batman tries to be a dad to the Bat family. In a lot of ways, Dick Grayson is the dad. Like he just is. He takes care of the rest of the Bat family so well.
See, I would make the argument that Alfred is the dad.
Ooh, okay. I was gonna go with grandfather with Alfred, but
Yeah,
he's in there. He's in there.
That's fair too.
Yeah. He's a part of it.
So what would that put at Batman? Just the grumpy uncle.
It's a great question. He's, here's what it truly would be, right? Batman is the dad. Bruce Wayne is the dad.
Oh, for sure.
Alfred's the mom. If we're being real, Alfred is the mom. He provides the soothing. He's like, it's all right. Here, let me bandage you up. We'll get you healed. Dick is just the oldest brother that's like, listen, Dad doesn't mean it. He's just had a bad day. Got gassed by the Joker. It's tough. You're fine, Tim. Don't worry about it. Damien, you're the classic little, youngest brother. Quit being a turd. Knock it off. Do better. Grow up.
Yeah. So is the youngest.
Yeah, always the youngest.
And then, well, it's true, because then Tim and Jason both have middle child syndrome.
Yep.
Real bad.
Hard.
Real
Hard.
bad.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's another good one. I would love a Red Hood
Mm-hmm.
show. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. I really think, as much as anything, like the anti-hero show is the direction that these TV shows should go. Like, those characters tend to be more compelling than just the straight line, hey, this is the good guy, right? So that's...
I mean, even going like the Daredevil Netflix route,
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what they should do. 100%.
Totally agree.
So,
Totally agree.
Sweet.
Yeah. So we got, Riles, another fantabulous top
I
five.
think so. I think we nailed it.
Wow.
A little bit shorter than usual, but I think we nailed it.
That's all right. That's great. That's great. Anything else you got for the good people?
That's all I have. I
Love
think
it.
next time we're talking Loki, probably. Loki predictions.
Loki predictions. Loki's coming in hot. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
We only had a free ball for 2 weeks. 2 times.
Go Commando.
But yeah.
Totally worth it.
So, but no, I got nothing. You got anything?
No, that's great.
Okay. Well, on that note, go follow us on YouTube, JP the Beanstalk.
Mm.
Follow us on Instagram, JP and the Beanstalk. TikTok, Magic Beans Productions. If you like listening to me talk, can't blame you. I have a wonderful, great voice. Check out Magic Beans. Well, yes, Magic Beans Productions on YouTube. That's also on there as well. And I think that's all the plugs that I have.
That's it.
So,
Love it. Way to plug.
Godspeed.
Peace.